Grand Theft Auto 6 is slated to drop in 2025, and it is quite possibly the most anticipated game of all time. But where's the second trailer, and is it still making that 2025 window? What's going on, everyone? This is Sergeant Sentinel with another game discussion video. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for checking it out. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this video, and be sure to share it with others who may enjoy it as well. Now, Grand Theft Auto 6 is quite possibly the most anticipated game in all of gaming history. Love it, hate it, whatever. Everybody's talking about it. And I think there's a lot of anticipation with this game, and it's been 12 years since we had a Grand Theft Auto game. This IP is huge. It is undeniably Rockstar Games' biggest intellectual property, and I know they want to do it right, but a lot of people are concerned that GTA 6 is going to get bumped until next year. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 and its online component GTA Online have made Rockstar Games a ton of money. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. And that's not just because they ported it from the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 to the PS4 and the Xbox One, and then again to the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles. No, it's because the community who loves the Grand Theft Auto franchise have really embraced Grand Theft Auto 5 and its online component. Now, of course, that's not everybody, but a large majority of the gamers who enjoy the franchise have embraced it, and so they're looking forward to GTA 6, but you have to understand something. Take-Two Interactive doesn't want other games to get trampled on, especially games that is making money that's going into their pocket, such as the upcoming Borderlands 4 game, which actually launches at the end of September. Now, it goes without saying that Borderlands is not the same type of game as Grand Theft Auto. It's a looter-shooter, first-person, takes place in a sci-fi type of environment, sci-fi type of atmosphere. And the good guys and the bad guys are not really anything like you'd find in a Grand Theft Auto game. Borderlands is its own animal, and it is distinctly different from Grand Theft Auto. So some people might say, well, I don't think the sales from Borderlands or Grand Theft Auto 6 would cancel each other out, and I don't think the two franchises would be in danger, but the way Take-Two Interactive's boss, Strauss Zelnick, thinks is that he wants to maximize profit and minimize risk, and even though Grand Theft Auto 6 is not a threat to Borderlands 4, he wants to give Borderlands 4 time to breathe with its launch and with the building up advertisement and marketing for this game, which of course is smart. Strauss Zelnick is a very smart guy, and in 2025 gaming, there's a lot of large game publishers that are doing very poorly. Take-Two Interactive is not one of them. They're still making money hand over fist, and that's because he knows what he's doing. While Gearbox is delivering Borderlands 4, Hangar 13 is delivering Mafia: The Old Country. Now, for those of you that are familiar with the Mafia franchise, parts 2 and 3 went the open world route. Of course, Mafia 3 was not as well received as they would have wanted, and a lot of people speculated because of the time progression from Mafia 1 to Mafia 2 to Mafia 3 that the next Mafia game would take place in the 1970s or 1980s. But Hangar 13 wanted to go in a different direction, obviously, and now Mafia: The Old Country is actually going backwards in time, probably a little bit before the original Mafia game. And they want it linear, they no longer want it open world. So again, it can be said that it's not the same type of game as Grand Theft Auto 6, but again, Take-Two Interactive wants each of their entries. They want each of their entries to have room to breathe, to have room to reach out to potential customers and really give them what they want. And that doesn't necessarily mean that these games are competing with each other, but again, Strauss Zelnick wants each one of them to have time to breathe. And that's why Mafia: The Old Country launching in August, Borderlands 4 dropping in late September. That's why I feel that their specific release windows kind of gives us an idea about when they might drop Grand Theft Auto 6, just to give those games enough time to really shine. Both Mafia 3 and Borderlands 3 had things that people didn't like about them, and I think that limited their success, and because of that, Take-Two Interactive is not going to want to drop Grand Theft Auto 6 before them. Obviously, they want GTA 6 to come after so these games can succeed. Now, a couple months ago, Strauss Zelnick went on CNBC And he was interviewed about Grand Theft Auto 6 and whether it was actually dropping this year, as well as other things pertaining to his business, and he still stressed that it was on track for 2025. And obviously, Strauss Zelnick, the reason why he is in the position he's in and the reason why his company is making so much money is because he knows what he's doing, but he's always been pretty straight with his investors. And that's how a lot of content creators and people on social media have determined what is happening with a lot of the titles, because they'll listen to these conference calls that Strauss Zelnick has with his investors, and he keeps it straight with them. He tells them what's going on. He doesn't fudge the numbers, obviously because he doesn't have to. He knows what he's doing, and Take-Two Interactive is very successful. But if he says it's still dropping in 2025, he's going to know whether there's a delay or not. Now, obviously, a lot of people are still concerned because Grand Theft Auto 5 released 2 generations ago. It released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It released in 2013. That's over a decade ago. And so everybody's concern is that it's taken Rockstar Games this long to put together GTA 6. There's obviously going to be delays, especially when almost every other game we see nowadays gets delayed. They have to make sure it doesn't have any bugs. They have to optimize it as much as possible. They have to make sure that it runs properly on both the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. You know, there's just a lot of things going on. And I know a lot of people are concerned. They're thinking it's going to get delayed. But again, Strauss Zelnick is one of the last guys that's running a gaming company that would lie about when a game is going to drop. He's all business. And if a game isn't going to drop, he's going to want to convey that to his investors so that they have realistic expectations about how Take-Two Interactive is supposed to do for the remainder of this year. Now, what makes this situation even worse is that Grand Theft Auto 5 started showing trailers at least a decent amount of time before Grand Theft Auto 5 dropped in September of 2013. And it had multiple trailers. It wasn't just one. There were trailers that just showed the world. Then there were trailers that showed the different characters. And I think because of this, a lot of people are concerned because they're like, well, we had multiple trailers for Grand Theft Auto 5 setting the stage, letting us know what it looked like, letting us know the scenery and the type of environments you'd see. You know, people getting evicted from their homes, people begging for money. You see the scope and the absolute breathtaking beauty of Los Santos, and you see it from different angles, different perspectives. You see these different characters all within Grand Theft Auto 5, and so it kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to be able to experience, and because of it having multiple trailers beforehand, people see one trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, and they're like, yep, it's definitely getting delayed. And I completely understand that train of thought. I get it. And it does make sense. So me personally, again, I feel like if it was going to get delayed, Strauss Zelnick would have announced that already, just because he's going to want investors to know ahead of time. Now, with Grand Theft Auto 5, it did build a world that a lot of people loved and enjoyed. Some people didn't enjoy it as much as Grand Theft Auto 4, but for the most part, the world of Grand Theft Auto 5 was enjoyed, and they built upon it, obviously, with Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, what did bug me about Grand Theft Auto 5 is that, and we found this out years later, they actually had 13 single-player DLCs that had been planned, that they were going to release for the game, but all of them got repurposed for Grand Theft Auto Online, every single one. Now, it's not as if Rockstar Games has been lazy since 2013. They've been hard at work. They constantly update. They've given us numerous ports, obviously. But they looked at certain situations, certain missions, certain characters that would fit into the Grand Theft Auto 5 world, and they said, okay, let's start these separate stories, and we're going to put together these separate stories. And after Grand Theft Auto 5, obviously, they put together these stories, and a lot of them, 13 I believe was the last number, 13 of them were actually initially planned to be single-player DLCs. Now, if you don't know what a single-player DLC is, it's basically like a standalone game where you don't have to interact with anyone online. For Grand Theft Auto, we're talking about the episodes of Liberty City standalone DLC collection, such as The Ballad of Gay Tony, The Lost and Damned. Those two were bundled together, and they were both fun and enjoyable experiences, and they did have 13 planned for GTA 5, but everything got turned into online. They repurposed everything for single player into content for GTA Online, which of course GTA Online anymore is nothing but a bunch of gamers cosplaying as GTA characters. Now, that's not to say that Rockstar Games completely gave up on single-player games, because of course they didn't. In 2018, they dropped the absolutely stunning Red Dead Redemption 2. And for those of you that don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 actually took 8 years with a lot of crunch. So much crunch that the spouses of some of the developers actually spoke out about it, and they were absolutely pissed because a lot of the devs were having to work 60-hour weeks. I don't know how many weeks it was, but they were having to work a lot on Red Dead Redemption 2 in order to get it out the door as soon as possible. However, as is the case with Rockstar Games, they're not just working on one project at a time. A lot of times, the different studios that all fall under Rockstar Games will be working on different projects to overlap one another so that there aren't necessarily dry periods. However, because they were focusing everything on GTA Online, the single-player fans of GTA games were a little aggravated, and so Rockstar Games, in a huge mistake, decided to bring the original Grand Theft Auto games to modern gamers, which in itself isn't a mistake. What was a mistake is that they basically contracted the work out to a studio called Grove Street Games, which absolutely did a piss poor job, and people weren't happy with how it was. It took about a year to get most of the problems fixed, and a lot of people are still complaining about issues with this game. Now, Rockstar Games from 20 years ago would not have done this. Everything would have been in-house, and if it would have been done in-house, there would have been no issues. But again, their focus has been GTA Online, so rather than do the right thing and handle the definitive edition in-house, they decided to outsource, and of course that bit them in the ass. Now hopefully they've learned from it. They're still investing in GTA 5 and GTA Online with certain updates and stuff. GTA Online is getting tons of stuff. That's a spoiled kid out of the Grand Theft Auto family, if you want to call them that. And it's unfortunate to see them get all the love and single player get almost none. But I feel like GTA 6 is going to restore the balance, and it's going to give a lot of love back to single player games. So I still stand by that it is dropping this year, and that when it drops, it's going to be phenomenal. Is GTA 6 going to drop this year? Is it going to get bumped until next year? Let me know what you think personally. Leave it in the comment section below. And if you happen to be a GTA insider who came here to harass me or say, hey, this rumor is unconfirmed or that rumor was unsubstantiated, eat a dick. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, definitely subscribe. Be sure to share this out on social media and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new content. This is Sergeant Sentinel. Take it easy, gamers.